Hey guys, this is Steven. Thanks for tuning in to the DevCast. I want to talk about how Azure Mobile Services actually just recently integrated to a service in Azure called a Notification Hub, which allows you to create cross-platform, scalable notifications across a variety of platforms, all through the big guys, so Windows, iOS, and Android. And each of these devices can actually register their native token, whether it's Android, Windows, or iOS, and with that native token, they can associate a tag to it with Notification Hub so that you can send messages based on tags. So if you look here, for example, say you wanted to send a message for all users that were, all devices for your application that had registered for breaking news, well, you can just send a message to Notification Hub that says breaking news. And it'll actually send a notification out to all your devices, no matter what platform they're on, as long as they have the tag breaking news. You can also do a finer granularity, such as the user ID. So if a user has different devices, you can actually hit them on all their devices just by specifying the ID of that user. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your new mobile service, and you're going to go ahead and go to the push. And Azure actually put this secret little button here called Enable Enhanced Push, which is what's going to allow us to use our notification hub. So go ahead and click that, hit yes, and I'll go ahead and add it to your mobile service. So what this went ahead and did is actually create a buddy notification hub here, and it's called the same name as your actual service, just add the name hub right next to it. So you're going to head on over to your Mac, and what you want to do is download the iOS SDK for Azure Mobile Services. And in the SDK folder, you'll see two packages. And what you want to do is grab the Azure Messaging.framework package and throw that into your frameworks folder of a new iOS project. I picked the storyboard project, but I imagine you could do iPad version as well. And what you want to do is go to your keychain access. And if you haven't already set up push notifications for your iOS application already, if you look at the bottom of this video, there's a blog post that walks you through those steps. What you'll end up with is a private key for your push notifications. And what you want to do is you need to export that key out so we could tell Notification Hub which key to use so they could send push notifications through Apple's service. So you're going to export your private key and call it whatever you like. Just make sure that you're generating a .p12 file. It should do that by default, but just double check. You're going to lock it with a password. And then what you want to do is mosey back over to your developer portal in Azure. And what you want to do is inside your mobile services, under the push tab here, you're going to go to Apple push notification settings. And what you need to do is you need to upload the certificate that you just exported so that push notifications from Azure has authorization to actually send out to your application's phones. So we're just going to look for that file that we just exported out. Now after everything's said and done, you'll see that there's a developer certificate present under the line for Apple push notification settings. So that means that we're all set up and we're good to go. Now, in order to do this, we also have to register this device to our notification hub and any tags that we want to associate with this device so that it can get the appropriate notifications. So the first thing you need to do is in the did finish launching of options, so in your app delegate implementation, you want to grab the actual push notification device token. And in the shared application object, we're going to use the register for remote notification types. And this takes a bit field, and that bit field will be UI remote notification type alert, sound, and badge. One thing I did forget to mention is that you do need to make the reference to the Azure header. In here, if you see Windows Azure Messaging / Windows Azure Messaging.h, and that allows us to have the messaging object that we need. Afterwards, we're going to add a new method, and this method is one of the built-in methods which gets called after doing the call for the push notification. And this is going to give us the device token that we need to give to Azure Mobile Services that allows us to send push notifications to Apple. And then here's where we're actually going to use the Azure Mobile Service APIs. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create the Service Bus Notification Hub. So this guy here, and this will be our hub object, and we'll just allocate it. And you're going to knit it with the connection string, and we'll actually get this connection string right back from your portal. So if you assuming you enter here, if you pop back to the portal, and if you look at the service bus, the buddy service bus for the Azure Mobile Service, on the bottom here you'll see connection information. If you click that, you'll get a shared access key that lets you get to the actual hub. And what you want to do is you want to use the default listen shared access signature. Make sure not use the full access signature because you don't want the full access permissions to go on the device, as that can allow anybody to send push notifications. I'm going to hop back in
Xcode and go ahead and throw that connection string inside here. And the hub path is actually just going to be the name of the notification hub. So I believe this is called Cross-Platform Push Demo Hub, and whatever you call this, what you'll put in there. Close off our method. And the next thing we'll do is we'll actually create the set of tags that we want to use to tag this device when we register it to Azure. So we'll use the NSSet object. Finish up my array. Sorry, my set. And what we'll do now, finally we'll actually register it to the hub. So we'll call a function on the hub object called register native device with token. And for our tags, and the tags will just be the tag set that we added before, and that'll tell Azure that we want to hear about notifications on this device for user 1234 or for any breaking news. You can say that this user decided to sign up for breaking news. I'm going to put a completion handler in here, so there you go. So after I run the code, the application just starts up, and it's nothing special, it's just your default application, but what's special about it is that it's registered with Notification Hub for user 1234 or for any breaking news that happens. So now what we can do is we can quickly create an easy test API in Azure Mobile Services using the Node Azure package. So I'm just going to create a test push package and a test push API. And I don't recommend you doing this, but just for simplicity purpose, I'm going to make everyone access through this test push endpoint. And now what I can do is I can use the Azure module, which automatically gets installed by NPM. You don't have to actually tell it to install the Azure module. And we can actually send a push notification using the Service Bus API for Node.js. So I'm going to grab my notification hub, and what we're going to do is we'll have to use the same connection string as what we have in
the Azure portal like we did in the app. So we have to use the name of the actual notification hub, and what's a little different from the iPhone is we're going to actually use the full shared access signature since this is staying server side. And now we're actually going to make the call out to the service. So hub.apns, which means Apple Notification Services.send. And we'll let the request send us the tags. Query.tag alert. We'll say breaking news. And in this case, we'll need a callback since it's asynchronous. So Azure Mobile Services uses the same, very similar objects to Express. It's actually based off Express. So if you're familiar with Express objects, it's actually the same. Almost the same anyways. And that's really it. So if you hit save here, we can test the API by just sending a post, since I let that have everyone access. And we'll do user 1234. And if I hit send, you should see on the phone, got a new notification. That's really all there is to it. We can also send one for user 1232. And what you'll notice is that although it was successfully sent, the notification is not sent to the phone. But I can also enter breaking news. And you'll see that the notification is actually sent to the phone as well. So this phone will get notifications for any tags sent with breaking news or any tags sent for this user. And it doesn't matter what platform they're on. So my next video will be on using Android, and then following that will be on Windows Phone. Thanks for watching DevCast, and I'll see you next time.